Hey, it's Mike Hambright with FlipNerd.com. Welcome back for another exciting VIP interview where I interview some of the most successful real estate investing experts and entrepreneurs in our industry to help you learn and grow. Today I'm joined by Victor Maas, and we're going to discuss how to find a good REIA club. Real estate investing clubs are critical to real estate and to the real estate investing community across the country, and really a great source of networking and knowledge. And I'm a big fan of REIA clubs. I'm excited to talk to Victor about this today. Victor is the owner of the San Antonio REIA Club, and today we're going to discuss how you can find a good REIA Club home. Before we get started though, let's take a moment to recognize our featured sponsors. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Hey, Victor, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So, fellow Texan, probably not quite as cold down in San Antonio as it is in Dallas right now.
Day today.
And when I just said how cold it is in Dallas, there's a bunch of people rolling their eyes right now because they're, somewhere much colder than here, probably. So,
absolutely.
But Victor, we've met a few different times and talked at some different events, and I know that you're doing some great things down in San Antonio. Before we kind of dive into talking about REIA clubs and your REIA club and some of the things that other investors should look for in a good REIA club, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of tell us how you got into real estate investing and a little bit more about you.
Absolutely. I think like a lot of folks, we got into our profession, realized we were not making the kind of money we had hoped for, so we somehow were led to real estate because there's a lot of zeros involved in real estate.
Yeah.
Me personally, I went to law school. And when I came out and started practicing law, I realized there's too many damn attorneys out there.
Yeah.
So I had to adapt or die kind of thing. So about 2004, I met a guy in Houston, and this guy was a multimillionaire. He was a trainer, and basically I took a week off of my life to learn what he knows. And it was hands-on. There was no books or any of that junk. It was hands-on on-the-job training.
Yep.
And when I came back, the first home I ever went and knocked on, I ended up buying that one.
Wow.
So I thought, wow, this is easy. I should do this for a living instead. So I've been doing that for a while, and when the market crashed, I had to learn to adapt. And so part of that adaptation was learning a lot about creative financing, rent-to-owns, and so forth and so forth. So my whole gig these days is not just flipping, but wholesaling, lease options, owner financing, but another revenue stream was closing transactions for investors. Since I was always around them, why not do their closings?
Yeah. So
now we do a lot of sub-2 closings, wraparound closings, owner finance closings. Ultimately, as entrepreneurs, we're always looking for better and smarter ways to make money, and I had been a member of 2 or 3 REIAs locally, but I just didn't feel like they were being run very well. You'd show up and it was all a sell-a-thon and buy this product, it's going to change your life.
Yeah.
Truth is you really didn't get a lot of a good feeling like it was about networking, truly networking instead of just talking about it, but really networking. A lot of the clubs, you didn't even know there was vendors there.
Yeah.
To build your team.
Right.
And so late last year, I was approached by a board member of a local club to offer to take over. I had spoken at their club in May of last year, 2013, and we killed it. We had 120 people show up because I helped promote it.
Yeah.
Versus every other month, they're averaging 30, 40 people. And I thought, well, shit, if I can do 120, if I can do 120.
Cussing on this show is okay, Victor.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
We don't do enough of it, actually.
Okay, wonderful. But no, I thought, why not? And so the club was upside down financially, and I thought I could do a better job. At least, I've been successful doing a few things.
Yeah.
But they changed their mind, the owner, and so I decided I still want to do my own club. And I really took quite a few months to figure out how I wanted it structured. If I go to a club and it's all like, I hate to say the sellathon, who wants to go to that?
Yeah.
So I found a good club in Arizona, Arizona REIA. They do a fantastic layout for their meetings, and they know that when they go there, the promoter, the club owner, it's not going to be a sellathon. It's going to be about real content, real networking, and you get to build your team for real estate investing. So now that I knew a structure, I launched, I hate to say this launch, but I relaunched a previous club that had been here for 10 years, probably one of the largest clubs up into the market crash, and then they kind of went dormant. But I revived it, and our first REIA meeting, thanks to marketing and getting the word out, we drew in 225. That's huge.
That's great, yeah.
I mean, that is huge. Most clubs average, 30 to 50 to 60.
Right.
Some go over 100, but rare. But no, we launched with 225. We did again. This was in March of this year. Some stupid reason, another expo promoter wanted to do an expo quickly in San Antonio because they saw what we could do, and then they canceled quickly for whatever reason. We decided we'd take the baton and run with it. So in May of this year, we did an expo in San Antonio. We drew just under 400 people.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So that was huge. We had 50 vendors. We had 10 speakers. It was a wonderful event. And so every REIA club is different. You're going to find that out. My advice to anybody who's thinking of joining is to go try them all.
Yep.
See what fits for what you're looking for. If you're into landlording and my club doesn't offer that, then that's fine. If you're into wholesaling and mine does and the other one doesn't, that's fine too.
Yeah.
There's no need to badmouth any club. You got to just see what's good for you.
Yeah.
For our club, I think what separates us from most of the clubs out there is we spend the first 30 to 45 minutes nothing but networking, and our vendors all have tables. So you get to have a mini expo every month. So if you need hard money, there's 3 or 4 choices. If you need folks to wholesale you deals, there's 2 or 3 vendors that do that. Insurance, title companies, flipping lenders, the end lenders, the commercial conventional transactions. Right. So we have all that. And then when we start talking, it's, hey, turn around, say hi to at least 5 folks, get to know them, see what they're about, and build relationships.
Yeah, one of the things that I always say about REIA clubs, the importance of REIA clubs, is that, as you know, which is part of the opportunity that you've taken advantage of here in terms of running a club, the San Antonio REIA, is that real estate investing generally is a really lonely business. Everybody's out there doing their own thing. If you're doing really well, your head's down and you're not talking to anybody. If you are not doing that well, you're probably hiding because you don't want to admit that you're not doing well. It just tends to be a very lonely business. It can, because we're so individual. We're all entrepreneurs running in one direction. And that's why I think, in all honesty, heck, that's part of why I started doing the interviews, is like I am, maybe a big fish in a small pond, or I'm just not, I'm not getting enough perspectives. And so let me meet other people and talk about stuff because, one, I think it helps me to talk to other people and learn new ideas. 2, I think in the process we're educating other people, and the same thing that you're doing through your club. And so, I've been to those different type of meetings as well, that you come in, sit down, and it's just one directional communication. And for clubs that do that, or different people that put on events that do that, I think they're missing the big opportunity, which is to pull people together and let them network and create a community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been to different REIAs, even around the country, and they all have their positives and their negatives. And I can't say that some of them are any horrible. They're not.
Right.
But for me, I, as a REIA owner, want to learn. So if I bring in someone, it's because I think their topic may enhance what I do. And I'm a wholesaler. I'm an owner finance guy, lease option flipper, and I try to bring those core topics in. And you'd be shocked. They may have that one great idea that puts another deal in my pocket this year. But no, I really have enjoyed the REIA experience because I've had a chance to meet lots of folks. People that I did not even know are big-time fish in my pond.
Right.
And it's great to meet with them. I had lunch with a guy yesterday. The guy owns like 150 houses, and he rents them all, and I learned some techniques that he uses that maybe I was not aware of.
Yeah.
So that's the neat part. I will tell you something funny. You go to these club meetings, whichever they are, it doesn't matter. And you see the folks go directly to a seat and they do this. And they will not move, they will not raise their hand, they won't engage. So for those that are watching this program, I advise you, get out there, bring some business cards. If you're a wholesaler, talk to every person. What are you looking to wholesale buy, or are you a wholesaler?
Yeah.
If you're a wholesale buyer, what are you looking for? What part of town? And are you cash, or are you private money? Or are you hard money? Right. Those that are cash, those are the ones you should be working your butt off for.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of the kind of avatar you just mentioned of somebody sitting down, crossing their arms, and that probably is one of two type of people. Either the person that feels like every time they go somewhere they're being sold something and they're like guarding, or two, for a lot of new investors, I think they'll be surprised by this, and I know you'll agree with it, is back to what I said about it being kind of a lonely business. Just like you said, you went and talked to somebody that you didn't even know existed, but it's, a big time investor, is there are a lot of people that have a ton of experience that feel the same way that I just said, is that it's a lonely business, and they go to those events and they're ready to like let it fly. They'll share more than you think. Let's put it that way. And I think if you're a newer person and you're going to a REIA club, seek those people out, because there's probably a bunch of people standing around and talking. And a lot of times real estate investors, that have a lot to share are willing to share it, and they don't hold back. So you might as well capture some of that and use it as a learning opportunity.
The investors that I found to be very successful, they've done lots of transactions. I really break them up into two groups. The ones that don't mind sharing the information because they subscribe to the philosophy of abundance.
Right.
And there's the other ones that probably feel the same way, and they're good people. The problem is they hate when people bug them, because they're making so much money, they're tired of being bugged.
Right.
Because they're at these folks, people just gravitate towards them. But the truth is there's enough people at a good club where you can learn pretty much most of what you need. I don't mind buying products that speakers come into our meetings. I just bought one last month when I was in Dallas, in fact. And I don't buy a whole lot, but when I do, it's because I don't mind spending money on my education.
Yeah, absolutely.
And most people, they never want to pay for anything.
Yeah.
Give me everything for free, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? It doesn't work that way. You've got to solve people's problems before you can, get stuff for yourself. I think once you help other people, this is Zig Ziglar, help people get what they want, and then you'll come back to you 10 times over.
Yeah.
The reason we do the club is for that reason. We really genuinely want to help people. We do a bus tour every so often.
Okay.
We go to properties. We do a community bus tour. All right, what do you think about this deal? Here's how we got the deal. Here's how we structured the deal. And here's our exit strategy. What do you think? And so then they'll go off and, banter back and forth. That's a great learning process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear me say it. People that know me is my estimate is that I'll probably spend between $30,000 and $50,000 this year buying education products for myself. Yeah. First off, I'm a bit of a junkie. A big part of that is actually a mastermind group that I'm a part of that is not cheap, but it has some great high-profile people in it. But I think there's a bunch of stuff that I buy sometimes that I just, I know that 90% of it I don't even want. I just want to hear what they're going to say about this one thing. And if I get what I need out of that, it pays for itself. So I think, a lot of people that are used to being sold, and I agree with you, nobody likes the clubs that are all pitchy, everything's a pitch fest. But, somebody said something to me at an event that I was at a while back, is that nobody is going to sell you anything. They may try, but, I think most of the good products that are out there these days, the people really are more of educators. They're educating, and they're going to give away a whole bunch of free stuff, a lot of free knowledge. And if that's all you get out of it, and you don't want to buy the product, then it's probably going to enrich your life somehow. So I don't think, in all honesty, as a student of the game, I don't really mind hearing people pitch stuff, because I'm trying to learn like how they pitch stuff. I'm trying to learn their technique. Like, what is it that I can learn from this and take away? So I think, if you go into it being open-minded and just know that, nobody is going to sell you something that is going to make you this power real estate investor out of nowhere. I mean, you might learn a little nuggets here and there from a lot of different people and pull it together and be successful. But yeah, I think, even the clubs that are overly pitchy sometimes, there's still a lot to learn there. But don't go there thinking that you're going to buy a silver bullet, I guess.
That's okay. One of the best suggestions I would give to someone is you go to these meetings, find out who's like you. If you're into rentals, you should really try to associate with folks with rentals. If you're into wholesaling, get with a group of folks who are looking to do wholesaling.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because if the product being sold that day is $1,000, I'm just throwing that out there, and 2 or 3 or 4 you can pull your resources together, go and train the material, then that's great. Too many people buy a product and they never do anything with it. They put it on the shelf and that's it.
Right.
And I feel sorry for those kind of folks because they never change their lives. Then you have the worst ones of all. Every meeting that something is being sold, they have to buy it. And they've got a whole library of products, but they never do anything with it.
Yeah.
So a way to overcome that, and this is my nugget of the day, is do it with somebody else. Because then you have to hold yourself accountable to that other person. This is a big one for me is I'll ask you, today's day 0, and I say, all right, go out there and this is what you got to do to generate leads, blah, blah, blah. And then we come back a month later and I said, all right, how many of you guys went out there and knocked down at least 20 doors? And literally across the room of 150 people, maybe 10. And so I think a lot of people aren't held accountable, so why do they have to do it?
Right.
They're always going to keep dreaming about it. Honestly, I'm not going to be a dream killer. If you want to learn about probates, wholesaling, flipping houses, owner finance, whatever, great. But my piece of advice to really help you get to that next level is hold yourself accountable to someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if you've got 2 or 3, 4 folks in a core group and you push each other, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, back to that comment about how a lot of people tend to be very individual and kind of siloed off. I think what you just said is a great idea, is find like an accountability partner and somebody that, I think a lot of people, you and I know this, there's a lot of people that partner together to do deals. Usually I think that is people that one person's got money and one person's got time and they find a way to make that work. But I think there's something to be said for saying, hey, let's just all go in on a deal together and try to learn, and we're okay if we don't make a lot of money. Of course, you don't want to lose any money, but we're okay if we have to split the pie 3 ways or whatever that might be, just to get out of the gate. Because as you and I both know, after you've done 5, 10 deals, it's such a confidence boost that you may not need those partners anymore. But if you go into it, not a formal partnership where you each own part of your company, I wouldn't recommend that, but some sort of joint venture deal. Absolutely. Where you can break up the next day and there's no like legal ramifications, but just some way, like you said, to hold each other accountable. That's a great tip.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else should we discuss?
Well, we were talking about early on about how you had to evolve in your business quite a bit over the past year. That was how the market's changed. And, I think that's a huge reason why people need to be part of REIA Club, because, the challenge with a lot of us that are very individual, a lot of people that are very individual, is it's hard to look around the corner and see what's coming just on your own. You're never going to climb the learning curve on your own as fast as being part of a group or a network of people that are looking around the corner. So talk about the importance. I mean, my guess is what you said about your own business and how you've had to adjust is a big reason. A lot of that influence probably goes into your REIA Club, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
When I got started, my mentor was all about buy and flip sub 2. So obtain the property subject to deeds, turn around, figure out what you need to do to fix them up as quickly as possible, and then sell them. And this is pre-FHA 90-day requirements where you have to wait 90 days before you can flip it.
Right.
I mean, I literally could flip a house in a month, start to finish, everything. It was phenomenal. Great money.
Yeah.
But the market did change, and you either adapt or you die.
Yeah.
And so one of the big lessons, it took me a long time to get through my thick skull, you have to do other stuff like wholesaling, like owner financing, wraparounds, rent-to-owns, these kind of solutions. Rentals, I got to tell you something. You're going to always be working if you don't own rentals. And I think you know that better than most. My buddy, who's a home investor guy like yourself, he owns over 35 properties. He nets over 12 grand a month with very little overhead. So he's doing well for himself. He could take a month off and he's fine. Mm-hmm. But you wouldn't know about these things unless you go to a REIA, where you can talk to different folks. What's your, what do you find works for you? And can that translate into something myself if I'm a new person to a REIA?
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some of the things that the topic really is how to find a good REIA? And we kind of said, hey, you need to go to lots of events. You need to participate. What else could people do to maybe, one of the challenges I think a lot of people have with a REIA club is that, and I don't know specifically at San Antonio REIA, a lot of them have one general monthly meeting. So you kind of have one shot to make it that month. But obviously there's opportunities to network, 24/7 effectively. So any other ideas about, just networking in general, how you could advise some folks to kind of form a network?
We've been contemplating this for some time, but we wanted to make sure we had everything going good. And so far we're good. So we've actually been talking in our club, everybody's different, but our club starting in January is have a weekly meeting somewhere. For example, special interest groups who are interested in landlording or wholesaling or owner finance or whatever have a weekly luncheon. So if you can't make the general meeting, this might give you a second opportunity in your core group.
Yeah.
And if I think it's advantageous to know 2 or 3 different strategies to find deals, 2 or 3 strategies for your exit strategy as well, whether it's flipping, wholesaling, whatever. So yeah, that's another way for you to build. And you know what? It doesn't stop you from going to a meeting, getting to know a bunch of folks who have similar, exit strategies or whatever, and offer to just set up weekly meetings of your own.
Right.
So not everybody can do it for you. We can introduce you to the folks, but you've got to take the initiative and build up these core groups of your own.
Right.
But do me a favor, for anybody who's listening to this, talking about it is fantastic. You need to get educated, but for God's sake, take some action, real concrete action. I'd rather you fail, but at least you took action, because that separates you from 99% of the people out in the world.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So why don't you share, I know we talked at the beginning about, in regard to taking action, we talked a little bit before we started the show about how a lot of folks expect real estate investing success to come to them on a silver platter, whether it's leads or other things. And I know you are as assertive as anybody I know in regards to being active and not waiting for leads to come to you to find a way to drum up deals. Do you want to share some of your tips and advice on that?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of folks are busy, and I get that, and they want to still become real estate investors, do a deal on the side. You might find a local wholesaler. So every time you're driving around town, you see those wholesaler signs, you call on them, leave them a message. This is what I'm looking for because I don't have the time to go look for deals. And you may have to pay a little bit extra than you normally would if you're in my shoes.
Yeah.
I'm active and literally knocking on folks' doors or doing marketing and getting calls. But there's really only 2 ways to get deals, in my opinion: active and reactive. The reactive is the direct mail marketing, the bandit signs, I'm picking on Wally, who's at Homevestors. He never does anything active. He waits for people to call him, which is fine, but you end up paying a pretty penny for that. The other side, which is most folks, they don't have a lot of money. You've got to go out there and knock on doors. Find people that are in distress. I repeat, find people that are in distress, offer to solve their problem, and that's how we get a lot of our deals, whether it's pre-foreclosures, city liens, code compliance, probate issues, divorces, you name it. And so that's how we do a lot of our stuff, okay? But until you take some action, you're not going to get squat. I can line up 100 people, teach them what I know. Maybe 5 or 10 will take any real action where they actually look at 100 real leads, make 10 offers, and buy 1 property.
Yeah, yeah. And what would you say for folks that are, one of the challenges I think that a lot of people face, and you probably deal with this in your club a lot, is they get overwhelmed with opportunity. Sometimes the amount of opportunities, the amount of, not everybody is going to go buy their first 5 houses and they're going to sell or finance one. They're going to do a wholesale deal. They're going to do a, wrap a mortgage or different things like that. So I think a lot of times, and then, God forbid, commercial, multifamily, land, all the other things you could possibly do. There's a million ways to make money in real estate investing. But what kind of general guidance do you give to people that are just looking to find a way to get started and maybe need to stay more focused?
That's actually the best question I think we could ever answer. And here's my advice to folks, because I've done this for over a decade. 1, learn to crawl before you walk before you run, all that good stuff. So I would advise every person out there, learn how to find deals in residential real estate. It is the low-hanging fruit. So there's plenty of those deals. Commercial, that's great. apartments, all that stuff, that's great. But I would advise folks to start small, learn how this game works, and then build up. I would never advise anyone to flip a house as their first deal.
Yeah.
I think they're just begging for trouble. You're better off learning how to find deals, wholesaling them. That would be step number one. Eventually, you can go to something a little bit better, which is what I call a prehab. And I make more money from prehabs than any other exit strategy.
Yeah.
I did one 2 weeks ago. We cleared 32 grand in 1 week. And what we did is we found a very distressed home, hoarder house. We get 3 dumpsters all together, hire some guys off Craigslist, gut it all out. And then we actually held an auction on a Saturday after we finished on Friday. We sold it and we cleared $32,500.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's the next step. A third step, obviously you can get into flipping houses, but even more so, I talk people out of that. I really do.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, you're going to keep doing that for the rest of your life. One of my mentors locally, and like I was telling about this guy I had lunch with yesterday, he never rehabs houses. Instead, he uses private money to acquire the deals. He may go in there and gut it out for one day, but then he owner finances it as is. That's it.
Yeah.
Or if he rents it, he doesn't put a whole lot into it. I don't want to call him a slumlord, but he's maybe one step above that.
Yeah.
Because people just don't take care of properties when they're renting is his argument. I don't believe that, but that's another story.
Yeah.
But no, the strategy I would advise everybody starting from number one spot is learn how to find deals, how to tie them up, and how to wholesale. You do that, you can have money your first month. In the next 30 days, there's no reason you can't make 5, 10 grand if you hustle. If you don't, you want it to come to you, it ain't never going to happen.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Victor, thanks for your time today. We definitely appreciate your insights and stuff. Why don't you tell us how to find San Antonio REIA for folks that want to learn more, and then tell us about I know it's still a ways out in the spring, in May, but tell us about the upcoming Expo and how folks can maybe learn more.
Absolutely. San Antonio REIA, it's sareia.com. It's real simple.
Great.
We hold our first meeting the first Tuesday of the month. It's also foreclosure day in Texas, so that's a good thing to remember.
Yeah.
And we hold it at the Omni Hotel here in I-10 and Wurzbach in San Antonio. It's a very nice hotel. We have snacks and drinks and cash bar. People want an open bar, but once I do that, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But no, we get, one of the neat tricks that we do is we get vendors to sponsor the cash bar. So they'll buy, 100 tickets and we pass them out to help, folks, have a good time.
Yeah.
But also to relax. There's food there, so I had to learn that. It took me a few months to get that. People were hungry.
Yeah.
So I worked out a deal
Especially
with
if they come in the early evening.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I worked out a deal with the hotel, no rent, but I have to pay for food.
Okay.
It cost me a little bit more with all the taxes and surcharges, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We did an expo this year. We drew under 400 folks. It was May of this year, at the end of May. It was such a success. We're going to do it again May 30th, 2015. The website is texasexpo.com. And starting the beginning of January, we're going to start getting the word out to get vendors and speakers. This time, we're actually going to have lunch. We didn't provide lunch this first one. And I don't think it hurt us, but I think we could have had way more folks show up or stay in the facility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to do a barbecue buffet. And we worked that out with the hotel again. No charge for rent for us, but we have to spend a lot on food.
Yeah.
But we have 10 speakers. We're going to try to get them to do all core topics. So it's another reason to come to San Antonio. We on our website, we're going to have soon a link to stay at the hotel at a discount. So the way I look at it is I love learning. I do. Whether I'm learning from you or another person, I want to learn to be more efficient at what I do.
Yeah.
So what a better place than an expo where I can come listen to you. We're going to have 5 breakout sessions so you get a majority of the folks on your core topics.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, we'll add links for the San Antonio REIA and the Texas Expo down below the video here for those that didn't write it down and want to come back and check it out. So, Victor, thanks so much for joining us today. Definitely appreciate your time.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah. Keep doing all the great work down there.
Thank you very much.
Take care, my friend.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com.